That's baby me. Aww. My mom and my dad, they're in the stars. And that's me. Look, that's an actual Christmas photo. They should have known. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, I grew up in, my imagination started deep in cornfields, and this is where I used to play, thanks to Google. That's little towhead elf. And this is where I used to play in these covered houses, covered bridges. My dad, who taught wood shop, metal shop, and I was very encouraged by my parents to do art. This is the city I became gay. These are my early ceramics. One of them lives at Alex's house. My mother sold these at a garage sale before moving to Florida. This is my first performance art with a friend. And I cut my nose and ended up in a hospital. I studied modeling, so early fairy. There I go. But I don't think they had that in mind when I studied modeling. And the seed years, so here we go. I did a lot of writing. I worked in publishing in New York. And when you work in publishing, everybody's convinced they can be a writer. So I studied at Stanford, Iowa, writers, towels all over. And I used to be an art critic for this very wonderful magazine that existed in San Francisco called Cream Puff. It was like took after interview, and I was the aardvark. And I was a great art critic. I was never mean. And then I started doing clay, these big kilns. You know that one, Richard Carter's Bonita. Yeah, look how cute I was. Hot. So there it is, we're carving. And I used to have a studio in Petaluma, California. That was, it was quite the studio. This is in Costa Rica, painting. These were illustrations for a book that is yet to be published called Sudden Beauty. My car, everything about me. I painted an MG and people thought I was nuts. But I painted this because my father died and I got in a car accident the same day. So the sadness was in my car, so I painted a mural on it. I went to college in New York City and studied advertising. And boy, did New York change my fucking ass. Whoa! I stayed out all night long. And I ended up getting a job on Park Avenue in advertising, yeah? This is it! This is what they turn into at the clubs in New York. And I tend to be a wanderer. I spend a lot of time alone. Figure it out. And I like to go to places alone. And I took a journey a long time ago, and I wanted to know who I was, and this is what I painted. Which I ate blueberries for 4 days. I did. I really did. And it was all about the blueberry fairy. I painted my way through a life and death transformation. Everything was surreal. I slept for 2 years. I joined a clay collective. Images began to appear. Sculpture. This now was sold at a white elephant sale, most of these paintings, for the Oakland Museum, Oakland Art Museum. I donated them. That's in Alec, his backyard. This is at Zuni. They just sold it. Thank you. Yay, money for Zuni. Self-portrait right there. First one. Okay, these are early paintings. There's background, clayworks. This comes from the ground. Everything for an artist is inspiration. And I mean, really, for me, everything is inspiration. So tonight is careful. So this is a story that's shocking. The wars are always very shocking to me. I've done a lot of anti-war protesting. I've been in jail. Spiders. This is a spider in Costa Rica that inspired this very net I took to everywhere. Grandmother spider. I became friends with that spider. Sharon Virtue, who was here earlier, I wanted an illustrator for my first books. She said, why don't you illustrate them in clay? I went off. This tower right here is one of the first illustrations in clay. Esmeralda! There she is. Early paintings. I sold that one for $500. Yes! That's a good set. A friend of mine had this cafe in Petaluma. This is a great story. Okay, Artist Transforms Diners Lou. My poor friend, Shad, he tried to come tonight, but he's on his way to Tajikistan. And I said, dude, you need your bathroom painted. He says, oh, I'm going to hire someone. I said, no, I'll do it for free. I went in there for a week, and I turned it into the Temple of Scheherazade. There's a sculptural, the whole thing was a mural. His wife was Italian, and she said, we've got to do an opening. It was declared the best bathroom in San Francisco Bay. And then I started doing all these murals. And dear Lucia, who's not here tonight, met me through one of these murals. And we want to send her healing woo. She's got a cold. First show she's ever missed of mine. So, I had a dream about 911. This is great.
She's a text on there that said, it's all about boredom. And you were the first one who said it.
So 911, Phoenix Day. I had a dream. I had a friend who died on the 89th floor of the World Trade Center. She sent me a message. And I received
there was this sculpture I had done shortly after 911 of a phoenix rising of the ashes of